Incredible day. Phenomenal day. Awesome day. Amazing day to each and every one of you guys. Welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast. I am your host, Ronald. On today, I am going to be talking about a very interesting topic that is dear to me, right? There are three things that I honestly love to talk about, right? These are the three things that if you want to have a conversation with me, if you want to have a continuous conversation with me, or if you want me to fully engage in some conversation with you, it has to deal with relationship with God, right? I want to be more specific with that because I could just say God and people just be mentioning all types of different gods. But I want to mention this, right? Number one is relationship with God. That's number one. Number two is entrepreneurship, anything entrepreneurship. And number three is all things personal development. Now, this is a personal development podcast, so everything we're going to be talking about has to deal with personal development. But on today, I want to talk about number two, entrepreneurship. Let's get it. So, and I'm excited, right? I'm super excited because um I, I don't think I talk about it enough. So I want to make some specific episodes catering to let me adjust myself really quickly. Hold on. All right. I think it's my seat. Right. Okay, cool. So, I don't think I talk a lot or enough about entrepreneurship, at least on a specific level. And one of the things that I continuously hear are like things about entrepreneurship. And I start going off on like a tangent. I start just going in with like just different things. Um, And this gave me an idea and it gave me a topic at hand of being able to talk about the things that people don't mention in entrepreneurship. So I've written really quickly 10 different things that I believe, and it's a whole list, right? That we can just really like it's a continuous list. But here's some specific ones that I believe that we don't talk about, right? Um Yeah. So let me do something really quickly, right? Which I kind of failed at because, right, if I want to tell you what I failed at, I actually failed at forgetting to write the definition of entrepreneurship. So here goes. A person who starts a business, usually by taking on financial risk and managing the day-to-day operations. That's what an entrepreneurship is, right? It has to deal a lot with business. Um, to be able to start multiple different things that generate you money, which is a great thing. There is another definition that I want to uh, t- t- uh, talk to you about. I wish I could find it. Let me see. Entrepreneur. Let's do 10 different entrepreneurs. This is a little different. Oh, this looks nice. I'm sorry. I'm doing things like last minute, but let's just stick with that, right? It's a person that who starts a business usually by taking on financial risk and managing the day-to-day operation, right? It was another one that I wanted to talk about, but we're gonna go here. Um, so the beautiful thing is that we are transitioning when you are an entrepreneur, you are transitioning from not only just settling on, I don't want to say settle, but not only just focusing on how do I gain resume experience so that way I can be qualifiable for other other jobs, right? Like if there's a job that I want to be able to have certain experience where when I get the interview, I'm qualified to do it, right? Um, but here is this freaking flies getting on my nerves. Sorry. Here is a Here's a different perspective. And I think we've entered, what's this? I think we've entered a year, let me see. I want to say a decade, right? Almost of entrepreneurship. Starting in COVID, right? Even though entrepreneurship has been like, this is nothing new to the world, but I feel like in our world and our culture now, it's a lot more heavy. Especially within the last 10 years. Well, I'm sorry, within the last 4 years, right? Due to COVID, right? COVID allowed, and yes, COVID has caused some stress and chaos and all these different things. But I think what COVID also did to the entrepreneur and to the nine to fiver and to anybody in general is be more creative. So we started to focus on um, the times where we didn't or we never thought of creating a business. Now we are doing it. The times where we focused on just how to do one thing one way, we've created other solutions which deemed us as being valuable, which deems us as being able to create a way of wealth, which is so freaking awesome, right? And it also enhanced the perspective of getting you to understand that hey, the thing that you're doing right now, you can monetize it. Your gifts, you can monetize. What you're doing on a daily basis can be something that you can transition into. Let's monetize this, or there are some things, right? And I want to give these three principles really quickly, right? Before I get into my 10, because I'm gonna go in, right? There's three things that I believe that if you want to be extremely successful, wealthy wise, you want to have one of these three or a combination of these three, right? And this is just a freebie, right, for you. Number one is you want to focus on the thing that you love, right? What is the thing or things that you love to do or that you find high interest in? When you start to build a business off of that, that is something that you will fight for. That is something that you'll develop passion for. That is something that you will be dedicated to do because you love it, right? It is of high interest. You don't have to be forced to do it. It's not something that you have to do, but you love it. You love to do it, and it's almost like a career. Not as almost. It's definitely you're creating a career path, right? Things that you love, where you don't have to focus on creating money, or you don't have to focus on getting paid to do it for you to do it. That does not enable you to do it. You just do it. But when you're building a business off of that, now you can focus on both. I can focus on doing the thing that I love, as well as um, as well as making money doing the thing that I love. Number two, right? So we got the thing. Number one is understanding that you want to pick when you want to do business and you want to be successful. What is the things that you love, right? Number two is your gifts. What are the things that you're gifted in, right? And what's his name? Steve Harvey. He said it best. He said that gifts are the thing that you do with the I'm butchering this so much. Dang, I want to go into my notes, right? I know I have it in my notes for sure, right? Let's do Steve because this is a beautiful quote, right? Steve Harvey. Da, 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 da. Wow, Steve. Wow, why I don't see it? Um. Okay, this is it's the thing that you do, the absolute best with the least amount of effort. Boom, there it is. That's the quote. So you want to find what is that gift? If you are a singer, right? If you're someone that sings, nobody in your family sings like you. Nobody in your friendship and friends sing like you. Nobody, how you call it? Oh my God, this freaking fly is killing me, man. I gotta edit that out. Nonetheless, nobody has the skill that you have. It is a sheer gift. Even though we can cultivate our gifts, we can become better in our gifts. But when you build a business off of your gift, now you can effortlessly be able to build the business because you're going to be doing the thing so amazing. It now when it comes to uh, when it comes to business, you now created a high demand because you're valuable. We already know that you are gifted in it, but for you to be create a business around your gift is monumental. Maybe your gift is speaking. Maybe you're a persuasive person. So you build a business off of persuading people, right? I also learned, right, and this is like this is sauce. I promise you this is sauce. I got 10 things that's gonna be great. But this is when you're building a business off of your gift, it's so crucial because you can build it. I kind of lost my train of thought. You build it off of. I don't want to say like no. I don't want to say that. What I do want to say is that it just becomes effortless, right? It just becomes so monumental, so strong, and you build a foundation of it, which is great, right? You're building it off of value because nobody can do the thing that you do. The third thing is you build a business off of a solution. I'm sorry, a problem that you're willing to solve. Oh my God, these things are so good. I hope y'all taking notes. This is if you never take notes before, this is the time. This is the day. Like this is class. Welcome in. Come on in. Right. Um, you are just imagine every every monumental gift. No, sorry. Every monumental successful thing that has happened in the world all started from an idea, right? It all started from an idea. The idea, many of the ideas has to deal with what is a problem in the world that I'm willing to solve, right? And if we want to go deeper with that, what is a problem that I have that I want to solve? What is something that I see as an issue? Like, for an example, we can have um, the you got well I don't want to go there, right? Let's go with makeup, right? There is some women that you can just put on makeup, right? You can put on a certain type of makeup and it looks great. Then there's some people that have different type of skin. You got oily skin, dry skin, all these different things. Now you create a need because if I'm a person that has oily skin and the makeup is, not doing what it needs to do, or it's messing up too frequently because of my skin, right? Or the blend isn't right. Now you can create another product or products that can either blend it in, or you can create a product specifically catering to just that. Now there's a need for you, right? You are solving a problem. When it comes to, let's just say, headphones, right? There's the regular headphones that you plug into your ears. Um, the earbuds, well, not earbuds, but the wired earbuds, right? Um, that does not have noise cancellation. When you are listening to music and you're out and about, you hear everybody. Even when you turn the volume up high, you hear everybody in the background. It's like, oh my God. But then you have headphones that block out the noise. You've created a solution to the problem. These are the three things that will absolutely make you wealthy, right? Then there's a bonus one, which is customer service, but we ain't gonna get there, right? But those are the three specifics that I want to encourage you if you are going to build a business and you want massive wealth. Boom. Those are the three. Now, here are the 10 things. What are my notes? Here are the 10 things that people don't mention in entrepreneurship, right? Brace yourself because this is going to be good. Number one is entrepreneurship is going to be hard. It is not. It is probably going to be I'm about to say easiest. It's probably going to be the hardest thing that you ever accomplish because entrepreneurship is not a here's the goal, that's it. Okay, I gotta make it $1 million or whatever the case may be. I gotta do this. No, entrepreneurship is like success. It is a moving target. Your goals should be moving all the time, right? So many times you'll feel like you are not successful in entrepreneurship. But because entrepreneurship also requires you to create goals, it requires you to go somewhere. So you eventually create vision for yourself. If not, you carry the vision of other people to help or borrow the vision of other people so that way you can eventually have vision for yourself. Hello, somebody. It's not going to be easy. If we can, if anybody that has tried and given up on entrepreneurship, they'll tell you. If anybody that is still, which there are a lot of us and growing, that are in entrepreneurship, that are new, and then there are entrepreneurships that have been here for a long time, they will tell you it is not easy at all. There's nothing about entrepreneurship that's easy, although it gets easier, right? Jim Rohn says something so powerful. He said, "Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better." Oh man, I gotta listen to my guy Jim again, man. After this, I'm definitely listening to Jim all day. But Jim Rohn, don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. If you were better, you won't have to focus on it being easy because now you developed a level where you've gone higher in level, you've gone higher in rank, right? It becomes easier because you're better. If it becomes easier and you don't become better, then you don't have you did not grow. But because you are better, it automatically becomes easy. Promise you, man, right? Not that it's going to be completely easy. You will always face challenges because you are always required to grow. You never reach your full capacity. You never reach your full capacity. We as human beings can be multiple things and continuously grow all the time, right? Until you die, you are still growing. Another thing about entrepreneurship that makes it so hard is that you have to deal with yourself. Oh my goodness. That's why I'm so big on personal development because of entrepreneurship. Like, you have to deal with yourself. If you are unorganized, it will show up in your business. If you do not like people, it will show up in your business. If you are um if you are selfish, it will show up in your business completely. If you are unfocused, if you're distracted, it will show up in your business. You got to deal with yourself. What are the things in me that I need to perfect, or not even perfect, but I need to become better at so that way my business gets better. Your business gets better when you get better. Your systems will develop as you change personally. But if you don't do that, there's a quote that says, "Nothing changes if nothing changes." So the change starts within. And when it starts within, it spreads out to everywhere. Everything, every area in your life, especially your business. Number two, right? I could talk all day on it. But number two, you will have to make sacrifices. This is not maybe I should say it like this, right? Sacrifices is required in entrepreneurship. Sacrifices is required in entrepreneurship. You have to, right? Some things that you got to sacrifice is relationships, right? I may not be able to hang out with everybody because there are certain goals. There's a vision that you now have over your life that people no longer fit within that vision. When you think of a rocket that goes into the sky, the higher it goes, there are layers of it that it sheds. So now, because it's shedding these things, the higher it goes, the more these things come off. That's people. What you're shedding as you create vision for yourself, as you continuously growing, as you continuously focus on becoming at a higher level, you now have to weed out what relationships are conducive to your growth. What relationships are giving to you, and what relationships are draining to you. And then you make the necessary sacrifices to be around them or be less around them, right? Because there's both, right? You have to either separate yourself from the people that's not really benefiting you, right? Spend less time with them, even. You don't have to necessarily cancel them out. You can spend less time. Or there are people that you need to be around that are beneficial to you. And if you focus on not being around them, then you don't get the benefits that they will give you. One of the beautiful things about entrepreneurship is understanding that when it comes to relationships, relationships is the one of the biggest things in entrepreneurship because it gives you access to OPM, which is other people's money. It gives you access to OPI, which is other people's ideas. Ooh, it gives you access to OPE, which is other people's efforts. Right? It gives you access to other people, right? Their knowledge, their gifts, even OPC, which is other people's connections. Because I have access to you, I get access to who they are connected to. My goodness, that was good. Please tell me you're screaming in your chair right now. Please tell me you jumped out of your bed because that was good. Like, if you just think about how many people you are connected to right now because you've connected to someone else. Man, is for me it's too many. I could just go on and on and on and on and on because I have learned and I'm aware now that where I am today is because of other people. In turn, like, oh my God, like that's a whole thing within itself, right? Um, Another sacrifice that you got to make is opportunities. You now have to, number one, find urgency in the opportunities that you need to jump on right away. Because if you don't, you'll miss out on those opportunities. But then there are opportunities that you do not need to take. There's many opportunities that will come, especially because you are an entrepreneur. Now you start seeing how to make all of this money, right? But then you become paralyzed. I was listening to something and they were talking about how do you tame a lion? And they spoke about a couple different things a couple tools that they have. But one of the interesting tools that they have is a chair that has four legs. And they said that when you are when you are trying to tame the lion, what happens is you point the four legs at the chair. Like when you're and what that does to the lion is it paralyzes them because there's too many things at once. So it doesn't know what to hit first, right? It becomes it has a sense of being paralyzed. And that's how you get to tame the lion, right? We are unfortunately being tamed or paralyzed by too many opportunities. Mm, mm. That is one of the oh man, woo, that's that's been me in many different seasons where I get this opportunity, that opportunity, that opportunity, this opportunity. They all sound good. Just because it's a good opportunity doesn't mean that it's an opportunity that you need to partake in. Because then you start to waste time in things that are not purposeful in your life and for your life. Hello, somebody. So we don't want to get paralyzed. So we want to have a focus. That's why it's important to have a vision. When you have a vision, you really get to understand your brand as as a business. You get to understand your brand as an entrepreneur. And when you understand that, you get to utilize which opportunities. The beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is that you get the option to select what your path is to be. You don't have to choose every opportunity. You don't have to choose these three opportunities. You can choose one of them, or you can go on another batch of opportunities. Like you have the choice. It is that's the beautiful thing is the gift of options, but also the gift of choice, which is so beautiful. The other thing that you got to sacrifice is time. Time, okay. When it comes to time, what was said prior is or what we heard in entrepreneurship is that you work when you start to go from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship, you spend more time in entrepreneurship, right? Or what's the saying? The saying is you go from a 9 to 5 to 24/7. And while that may be to a degree true, um, I want to be careful with that because number one, it requires intentional time. If you are focused on giving 10 hours of your day to your business, but there's no production at hand, then you don't move anywhere. You're not producing anything. That's the focus. So you want to make sure that I utilize my time effectively. And if I don't utilize my time effectively, then I don't be able to be effective. And that pours into the other part of that, which is sleep. If you don't be intentional with your time, you'll never prioritize sleep. And prioritize, but being able to get enough sleep, being able to get sleep, period, even if it's a couple of hours, it gives you that boost of energy that you need because you think that you're super tired or you think that you can't get it done. But there's so many people that have utilized the same 24 hours that you did and got way more work done. So why is it that I can't get these things done? So you prioritize sleep within your time, right? You capitalize on your opportunities and you understand the gifts of relationships. You're intentional with that. Number three. Um, Number three is you are responsible for your daily routines. My goodness. Mm-mm. When I tell you it was a shift, I've been in a 9 to 5 life majority of my life, right? And during COVID was the time where I went full entrepreneur, meaning that I started seeing and having to do a lot of the things that I did not expect that I had to do. For example, when you've only worked in a job your whole entire life, you're used to your routines being created for you, right? If you're anybody like me, I don't eat breakfast in the morning, which I should, but I don't eat breakfast. I just get myself together, which is what? You brush your teeth, take a shower, all that good stuff, get your clothes out, get dressed, look where you gotta go to work, do what you gotta do, come back. That's already planned or that's already developed because of my job. When you are an entrepreneur, wait, you are in charge of that. And I got hit because when I got let go, and this is what COVID did to us, right? Many of us that we work our jobs and we're like, man, I wish I was home. I wish I had more time to be at home. Then COVID hit and we got ample amount of time, which allows us to face reality. Dang, I don't know what to do with this time. Literally. Like I used to, when I got let go of my job during COVID, I'm home and even though I was doing some things on the entrepreneurial side, I had somewhat of a schedule, but it wasn't a planned schedule or it wasn't necessarily organized, right? There was like 1 or 2 specific calls every day and that was it. But then I started to realize I needed to be more intentional with this. So I had to start planning out my mornings which would effectively help out my day because you never know what you are going to encounter within the day, right? There's a saying that I created that your how you start your day determines the rest of it. So if that is true, then what am I doing in the morning? What is my morning routine? Many of us don't have a routine in the morning. So because our days are chaotic, it's because our mornings are chaotic. Hello, somebody. It's crickets in here. I know it's if you feeling it, say ouch. If you are feeling this, say ouch. I promise you, it's all right. This is a safe space. I get it. As you plan out your mornings, you plan out your days. Even when it comes to planning out your nights is important, right? How you transition into sleep, how you transition into going to rest. How do you plan that? What does that look like? Because now your nights, excuse me, as you plan out your mornings determines the rest of your day, but as you plan out your nights will eventually help you effectively start your day properly. Oh, that's so good. That is so good, so good, so good. Man. Now, when I started doing this, right, I was a trader, and a couple other things. I was an author, um, which was so great. And I eventually started the podcast. What this did for me was help me realize how unorganized I am. Man, if you are if you started entrepreneurship or started your own business and you realize how unorganized you are, just type ouch in the comments. Comment. That was me. Because I started getting on these calls, I started getting on these leadership calls, entrepreneurship calls. And there were some things that was so interesting and it brought a lot of awareness to me, which was your weeks. You need to plan out your weeks, you need to plan out your months, you need to plan out your years. In other words, you need to operate with a calendar. Man, when I realized that I did not, I was like, wow, I gotta do better. I owe it to my people. If I want to impact, during the time my goal was to impact 100,000 people, right? If I wanted to impact 100,000 people, I need to plan things out so I can effectively reach specific people. There are specific people that you're called to. If you're not intentional with your time, you'll never reach them. And that hurt. That hurt. That hit me. So and it's still even a challenge now. Like understanding that what does your day look like? Now what does your week look like? Now what does your month look like? Month look like it's a month. Month looks like and then what is your whole year? There are you can tell the level of the entrepreneur by what's on their calendar. And is this a safe space? Are we sure? Are we sure this is a safe space? I I am not even there yet. I'm gonna be 3,000,000%. I'm still working on developing that. I was just on a call the other day. I mentioned that, and I was like, "Ooh, that hurt." Right. Another thing. This is number 4. Right. Of the 10 things that people don't mention in entrepreneurship. Another thing they don't mention is the systems you need and desire doesn't come without work. First of all, when you are when you are an entrepreneur, you don't even realize that you need systems. You are just so happy that you get to do what you want to do. And unfortunately for us, what we want to do is not beneficial to us in the beginning, right? Eventually, as you develop and grow personally, it changes. But it's not. It's not helpful because it's not productive, right? There are so many of us that are busy and not productive, which means that we have a lot going on and we're not producing anything. We have not created anything. What my pastor said to me, which was so which hit me hard, is you have you have a lot of knowledge, but not a lot of but not a lot of application. Once again, that hurt. It still hurts. Like, why are you reading me like this? Come on, Pastor. Come on. Why are we doing this? Like, you're not supposed to expose me like this. But yes, you have to focus on understanding that you need systems, right? And you eventually realize that the systems, or the thing that I need, the thing that I really desire to give me structure is systems in place. Do you have systems in your business that can help you produce fully, that can help you be completely optimized, fully optimized? Do you have systems in place that can help you start to transition from just building something to scaling it? Do you have systems in place that takes the load off, that becomes a repetitive thing? Like, this is so important. Systems is systems is everywhere. When you start to look at even McDonald's, how effective it is, where you have everybody doing their own specific task, right? I mean, now they got it so crazy, where, or so amazing, where they have the kiosks. Now you just wait in line, order stuff on the kiosk. Boom, it comes up on the screen. They look at the screen. The person makes the order, gives it to the front person. The person now hands the order to calls out the number, hands the order. It's a seamless process. Do you have a seamless process? Do you have these things in place for you to be able to build? You can't build nothing out of chaos. You can't build nothing if you don't organize it. Hello. Number 5. Oh man. Just say ouch. Just repeat after me. Ouch. Because this one is good. You will have to start over or start again. Don't that sound like relationship? How many of us do not want, we're unwilling to start over? Like, I mean, start over from scratch. Like, just imagine working on something and building it from scratch. And now you are far in it. You've got a lot of skin, not just a little, you got a lot of skin in the game. You've got a good amount of time in. And you telling me I got to start over? You'll have to start over. There's going to be, hmm, it's just deep, and it hits me because there were times in my life where I didn't want to start over. I stayed in a season, or I stayed in a business, or I stayed in doing a thing, facing the same issues because I refused to start over. When sometimes starting over is the refresher. Sometimes starting over is the clean slate. Here's the other side of it, right? Starting again, where you've done a thing and you stop. Let's just say life been life. Things caught up to you, bills caught up to you, unexpected circumstances has happened, maybe death in the family, maybe illness, maybe you've been hurt, whatever the case may be. You start getting depressed, all sorts of stuff happen. So you taking a pause, or you just completely stop. There is going to be, you'll understand that there are certain things that you cannot just give up on. Hello. You cannot just give up on. It's important that you realize you got to start it over, not just start it over, but you got to start again. You got to pick it back up. There were 2 times in this podcast where I stopped. In those seasons of you stopping will show you how important it is for you to continually do. You have to do it. I don't know who this is for, but if you are listening to this, it is a requirement. It is so important that you pick that thing back up. Start again. It's okay. There are some times where you need to start over fresh, and there are some times that you need to start again. It helps you have a clean slate, or it helps you to reignite the fire that you had when you first got the vision. So beautiful. Number six, right? I want to move on because, yeah, these are deep. Number six is, oh man, this is hitting me. It says, getting a job does not disqualify you from being an entrepreneur. How many times have we, as the entrepreneur, right? If you've never been an entrepreneur, then you can't relate. But how many times, as you as the entrepreneur, have ran from the idea of, I'm not going back to the 9 to 5. I'm not going back to work, because then it makes you feel like what you were promoting as a business or what you were promoting in entrepreneurship, it makes you look like a fraud. Well, that's just how you feel. You feel like a fraud. Oh my goodness. When I used to, um, when I used to teach trading, and I was showing people like, yo, you're able to quit your job, which you absolutely can, right? Um, but I didn't necessarily go back into the workforce. But I started picking up some side gigs or whatnot, which it made me feel like it was not it. I'm like, Dad, but you are, this is reality. It does not disqualify you if you have to go back into the workforce. It is not humiliating, it is humbling. That's the word. It is humbling because it helps you understand that you are not perfect. And maybe you jumped into entrepreneurship a little too strong, which we applaud that, but you have to understand it doesn't disqualify you. It's important that you utilize that time when you go back to work to be able to help you build your business properly. Now you got some structure, or now you can add structure to your life. Now you don't have to be always consumed on your business, right? I mean, not on your business, in the job. You can transition to a lot of the efforts to um, when you come home from work, and you transition that into your business. There was something that someone said, um, 9 to 5 is the time at work, and 5 to 9 is the time in your business. So after you clock out of work, you clock into your business. How many of us are doing that? How many of us are clocking into our business? As an entrepreneur, as someone that wants to be deemed an entrepreneur, as someone that wants to focus on creating multiple businesses or just build a business, have you clocked in yet? Have you clocked in? If you're not clocked in, then you're not doing it right. So, and it's hard, right? It's very challenging and frustrating, but it's the truth. It doesn't disqualify you, but I need you to clock in. Number seven is what is so beautiful is that entrepreneurship is spiritual. There has never been a job that I've worked that focused on how are you feeling today. There's never been a job that has focused on personal development. There's never been a job that I worked at that um actually prayed for you or even said you should pray. It's never been a job. Entrepreneurship, so when it comes to work, work does not require faith because You are focused on getting a paycheck. You signed a paper that said, hey, if I put in X amount of hours, I get X amount of dollars. So you are quote unquote guaranteed. Because it's guaranteed, you have the idea that it is an expectation that you're going to get paid. Friday hit, boom, I get paid. Every Friday or every other Friday, we're going to get paid. That doesn't require faith. It was a contract. Entrepreneurship, some people don't see money within the first 3 years or are profitable within the first 3 years of their business. 3 to 5 years. That's crazy. Just imagine going to work and not receiving a check for 3 to 5 years. Not receive, well, I'm not even gonna go there. But I I personally wouldn't want to go to work, put in 40 hours, and they tell me you still got to keep doing this. Basically, you're doing volunteer work. When it comes to your business, it requires faith because there's going to be people that don't agree with you. There's going to be people that is going to sabotage you. There's going to be situations that is not for you. It's all these different things. It's a spiritual battle. It requires you to believe in the thing that you hope for. What is it? The evidence of hope. I'm butchering it. Read Hebrews 11:1, right? Hebrews 11. And it talks about faith, right? I don't want to butcher the quote again, or the scripture. But yes, it requires faith. And faith is not a physical thing. Faith is a spiritual thing. You can't see faith, but you see the fruits of your faith. Number 8, because I want to move on. I don't want to hold too much time. Number 8 is understanding and loving people extremely helps you in entrepreneurship. When you pursue personal development, you start to understand people at a deeper level. Why? Because you are people. I cannot stress this enough that we are who we need to understand. We are people. We are just that. So understanding people helps you get to understanding who your audience is. It helps you get to specify your customers. You can't sell to everybody. If I'm a construction person, right? Or if I'm a singer, or not even, let's just say if I'm let's go with that. I'm an R&B singer and a I go to a crowd that loves rock and I sing R&B in front of them. It's going to be a hard transition. They're not going to subscribe to your music. They're going to be like, I don't like this, right? But when you get yourself into the right crowd, it helps you to understand, okay, boom, this is where I need to be. You get to start to understand that where you are needed and where the demand is. And not only the aspect of understanding them, but you get to love them. When you get to understand people, you get to start to give them grace, which also helps you to learn and understand them on a deeper level because it helps you to love yourself. It helps you to understand yourself. That taking that same transition, you're solving a problem, regardless in business. You're solving a problem. Oftentimes, a problem that you may have, but you start to notice if it's not a problem you have, it's a problem that other people have. So you start to look at it from a perspective of love and understanding, and it allows you to deepen what you're producing. It allows you to deepen your offer. It allows you to take the skill set to a deeper level, and it also helps you to build levels of value. People are willing to pay for value. Does not matter the price. Right? We could talk about pricing on another time. Number 9, you must evolve. Oh, wait. You must evolve. I think, number 9 and number 10 is relatively the same. You must evolve from entrepreneur to CEO business owner. When it comes to an entrepreneur, yes, you are focused on creating business, but you're also focused on creating multiple businesses. Remember when I was talking to you about having multiple options, right? What happens is it paralyzes you. So, as an entrepreneur, what happens is we become paralyzed. We become to the point where we have too many options. We are not producing or successful in anything. When you are a business owner, CEO, you start focusing on how do I pay attention to the things that are happening in my business? How can I grow this business? How can I build a strong level of foundation? What you start to ask yourself these questions. You start to challenge yourself and your business. Like, you know what? We have not been profitable. Why? As an entrepreneur, you overlook a lot of these things because you're just focused on doing that you're not understanding on how to, you're not focusing on processing what has happened. You don't take note of what's happened. Right. Another thing that I said was you must learn to transition from working in your business to working on your business. When you continuously work in your business, it is you doing a lot of the work. Or is you working too much where you cannot scale? As a CEO, as a business owner, you focus on how do I, once you start to make profits, see revenue, all the different things, now how do I scale that? How do I grow it on a smaller scale? And then even how do I grow that exponentially? How do I go from $100 a client to $1,000 a client? Right? How do I go from making $1,000 a week to now making $5,000 a week? How do I go from exponentially going from not $10,000, six figures a year to now making a high six figures or millions of dollars a year? How do we do that? Right? You start to transition into thing which has to deal with I don't want to go there yet. I want to work my way there. But you start uh, collecting data. You start seeing what works and what don't work. You know, I got to make some cuts. I got to hire more. Like you start to really develop a strategy that works for you where you can work in your business less so you can work a lot more on your business. That's how you get to scale. Because if you're doing a lot of the things, it's hard to see from the outside. You need to see from the outside. So you kind of go into management, right? You kind of go into overseeing things and then putting people into the system where you don't have to be the one to even operate the system. You just make sure people are doing. Hey, they're doing this, they completed this, you get reports, you get that, and you're good. Now there's always evolution and transformation in that, but it is important. The last thing is, oh man, and it's gonna hurt. Loss is a part of the game. I think we have this false reality or this false ideology that when we get into entrepreneurship, we are automatically having to have abundance. That it just comes with abundance, and it does not. So then we get hurt because of the loss of things, right? Number one is the loss of money. Losing money is very important. One thing that I heard about wealthy people is they're not focused on just not just the income. God, I'm kind of butchering it, but overall, they are focused on not just how much money you make, but how much money you keep. That is so important. You can be someone that makes six figures versus the other person that only makes five figures or four figures, but the person that makes four figures has more money than the person that makes six figures. It's because the difference is their mindset. If you can transition your mind into learning how to keep more money, you can be able to have more. So eventually, when you are able to produce more, it exponentially grows that because you develop the skill on how to keep it, right? Then there's the multiplication of money as well. Some of us just know how to trans we just know how to trade our time for money, but we should be trading our knowledge for money. We should be trading our ideas for money. It's 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 a whole perspective shift, right? Um Ideas, right? I want to cancel that, right? Let's skip that for now. You'll have the loss of relationships. There's going to be friends that you're going to lose for sure. That you're like, yo, why are you not even supporting me? Like, what are you doing? And you've built a relationship with this person for such a long time that you thought that you would have their support, but they're not on the same wavelength as you. So you end up realizing, I gotta lose this. I gotta lose this relationship. I got to. We can no longer be friends because you no longer help me. When I was partying and wasting my life, you were the go-to person. When I didn't have structure in my life, you were the go-to person. But now that I have those things, you you telling me I'm acting different. The fact of the matter is I am. And you don't accept me for me acting different. So you gotta go. There's family. You got some uncles, some cousins. Unfortunately, there are some parents. Unfortunately, there are some brothers and sisters that you have to cut off. Maybe not forever, or for some of us, maybe even for many of us, we had to permanently cut off a lot of our family, so that way we can be successful in the game of entrepreneurship, in the 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 realm of entrepreneurship. And it hurts. It it truly hurts because you value the time with these specific individuals, but they just don't believe in you because they know you for who you used to be and not for you becoming who you are to become. And companionship. There are many people, I don't want to keep saying many, but there are people that because you're creating something business wise, even your companion don't believe in you. Or even your companion just not giving you the support. And if anybody gives you support, at least your companion can, because you are literally wanting to. You're not subliminally. You are unconsciously expecting that, or even both. Right? You are also consciously expecting that. So when you don't get it, it becomes discouraging. And when many times when your companionship is not working right, when you're not getting the support and the love that you want, the attention that you want from your companion, it affects you and your business. So you start to realize that and you start to cut them off. Hey, sorry, we cannot be in partnership together. We cannot be in relationship. The other thing when it comes to what you lose in this game of entrepreneurship is customers and employees. They don't last forever. You have to, your system that you put in place should make it that every customer is replaceable. So your system has to help you produce new customers and attend to loyal customers. It's not one or the other. Is your loyal people? Yeah, that's where you're getting your money from. But you have also there's that retention, right? But then there's also being able to reoccur new customers, acquire new customers. Then there is the employee side. There is no employee in your business that you should heavily rely on for everything. Because when they leave, know that they are going to leave. Or not that they are going to, but they can leave. Be okay with that and have a system where when they leave, you can have a beautiful relationship with them. You don't have to burn the bridge because they don't want to work for you no more. But you can also help motivate them and encourage them on their process of moving forward. But as they move forward, you already have structure. You already have a system in place that can replace them. So when they leave, you're not scared. You're not like, oh my God, what to do? What am I going to do? Oh my, no, you are excited because I'm grateful. I'm celebrating you for you moving on, and I'm also celebrating the fact that I got someone else that I can hire. Here's a bonus tip before we go, which is so monumental to entrepreneurs, business owners, especially new ones, is do the numbers. Oh man, what is your revenue for your business? What is your profit? What's your take home? Right? What are your expenses? How many people have purchased your product? How many new customers have you gained? How many loyal customers do you have? How many reoccurring? Right? These are things because it transitioned into data. And when you have data, you are now able to scale it and fix the things that you need to fix in your business. If you don't know these things, right? If you don't know what the problem is, then how can you be able to fix it? So you're continuously operating in something. What they said, what's not broken, don't fix it. But if you don't know what's broken, you'll never fix it. And it's been broke all along. So do the numbers, do the numbers, family. I don't know why I'm like rushing it, but yeah. And that specifically, I'm gonna end with this. That specifically helped me transition into a deeper thinker in business, and taking my business on a higher scale, because that's what, when you start to take your business to certain places, they are going to ask you about numbers. It's not always what you are able to do, but it's what you can prove on paper that helps you be qualifiable to deals. It helps you to be able to gain financing. It qualifies you to to measure your level of success. It also determines your value. It determines your wealth. If you don't do the number, you are valuable less. If that is the word. You're not valuable, right? This has been a great episode. I really like this. I really want to talk more on this. And I'm definitely going to have I'm going to create I'm going to have a good amount of people on this. Specifically with this, I want to create a panel. I'm looking for 4 different individuals. So when this come out, we'll definitely be recording something on this specifically because it's so much more. But I want to give perspective, or give the floor to other people's perspectives on what people don't mention in entrepreneurship. That's so valuable. That could be valuable to you. So I appreciate you for joining the Your Perspective Matters podcast. We are on all platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple, you name it, right? We're on everything, right? And a bunch of others. Audible, Pandora, we're on a lot, right? Um, so I require you to subscribe, because not only will it benefit you, but it's going to benefit someone else. So I encourage you, subscribe on today, get a part of the community, and be able to share your testimony, be able to share your perspective on today. The floor is yours. Why? Because your perspective matters. See you on the next episode.